Hey everyone, welcome back to Dietitians and Nutrition Support. You may have noticed lately that we've been doing a couple of videos about lipids and injectable lipid emulsions, mostly because in the past few years we've had a ton of new products come on the market, and they're all super cool, and it's really important for us to understand when we might use them. Well, today we are going to have our final video in this little lipid series that's coming from Schechter, who is a pharmacist with an expertise in lipid emulsions. So she's going to talk us through a few different pieces that you might need to know if you're looking at introducing a new lipid onto your formulary at your institution. So she'll have all the tips and tricks, and let's pop over to Leslie.
Leslie Schechter. I am an advanced practice pharmacist at Jefferson Hospital in Philadelphia. I am specialized in nutritional support and pain management. I've been working with TPN since I was a pharmacy resident back in the beginning of the 80s, and there has been a lot of changes over time, except for fat emulsion. And the fat emulsions have just recently, we have some new products, and you may want to consider how you're going to possibly add them to your formulary or get your patients to utilize them. So for today, that's going to be my discussion is
formulary approval for injectable lipid emulsions.
So the FDA has had approval for the various products that are available in the United States. In October 75, Lipid, which is the soybean-based lipid emulsion, was introduced. And that has been what we have been using for over 40 years. So although other things have changed in TPN, such as amino acids and how we make them, lipids haven't. So then in October of 2013, Baxter got approval for Lipid, but was not launched until 2019. And then in July of 16, we had the approval of SMOF lipids, which is a 30% soybean, then MCT oil, then olive oil, then fish oil. And then in 2018, in July, Omegavan, which is the fish oil, was approved. So these are all relatively new. I've been working on TPNs for 40 years, and it's just been in the last 5 years that I've actually had new products to be able to utilize within the TPN as far as lipid emulsions go. Characteristics of the lipid emulsions common are water for injection, egg yolk phospholipids, this is an emulsifying agent, glycerin, and this makes the emulsion isotonic, and it does add some calories. Fats, when we eat them, are 9 kilocalories per gram. The fat emulsions are 10 because of the addition of the glycerin. Sodium hydroxide maintained the pH. If you get a pH below 5, you have issues with disruption of an emulsion, so therefore you want to keep it between 6 and 9. The differences between the IV lipids include
phytosterol
content, the vitamin E content, inflammatory characteristics, and fatty acid content. So as we're going along, that will be the differences that you're going to have to consider when you're trying to decide if you're going to put a product on your formulary. Comparison of the lipid emulsions will include how much of the different oils, the fatty acid oils, are in there. So soybean, olive oil, fish, and then the 4 oil product, and there the percentages are listed there. We also want to take into consideration the linoleic and the linolenic acids, because those are our essentials that must be added in order to not have an essential fatty acid deficiency. In addition, the downstream products are listed here, and the
phytosterols
are also listed here, so that we know that that is one of the problems that we have when we start having liver complications from TPNs. Often this is what is contributed to these problems. So the less you have, then the less risk of having the problems with the liver dysfunction. So we want to take that in consideration also. There is a strategy for evaluating IV lipid products. You want to establish the benefit of the new product you want to bring to your institution. Know the differences in the current versus the new IV lipid. So therefore, if you know that one product causes less issue with hepatic damage, or possibly that there's information that you'll be in an ICU less time, then you need to know this information and have it readily available. Questions to consider: what is the unique benefit of the product compared to your current product? Could the product replace another product?
Soybean lipid emulsion is utilized off-label for the treatment of local anesthetic toxicities. Its off-label use has not been reported with other lipid emulsions.
So you may have to keep a soybean on even if you decide to go to another for TPNs.
Consider your IV lipid product contract.
Are you contracted with one particular company and you're going to need to stay with them, or is there a way to get another product in that is not under the current contract? Assess the current usage. Will the product be added? Will it replace? Or are you going to have two different products depending on your patient population, or possibly three? Consider your patient population. Do you have adults? Do you have neonates? Do you have peds? Are you hospital-based? Do you have a home compounding company? So for instance, at Jefferson, we do have a home infusion company. So whatever we decide, and we need to work with the home infusion people to ensure that both of us can accept this product. Consider TPN production and availability. Are you outsourcing? If you're outsourcing, the outsource company, infusion company, needs to have it available if this is what you would like to use. If you're in-house, obviously, it's going to have to be something that's approved for in-house use. And if you're using pre-mixed products, right now there is no pre-mixed product out there that has the new lipids in it. If you're using pre-mix, you're not going to be able to utilize these products yet. I am sure that the companies are looking into this. Review available literature supporting the use of the new lipids. Individual trials are generally less than 4 weeks, so you don't have long-term studies with these products. So consider reviewing meta-analysis to see if you can get good beneficial impact from a meta-analysis. And who should be included in the review process? The pharmacist actually will be involved, the clinicians who write the orders, the nurses who might be on a nutritional support team, the dietitians who in fact may be writing the orders. All of these people may have some impact as to if they want to put a new product onto the formulary. An IV lipid drug monograph is going to be written, and all of these components will be placed into it. But the two big ones that you need to focus on are going to be your cost implications or considerations, because that is always a question that will come up at a pharmacy and therapeutics committee. And then will it be covered under insurance? Because some of the newer projects are more expensive, some are not, but you will need to consider that. And then one of the unique things about IV lipids is the stability limitations. And this may become important to you when you're trying to compound, or the pharmacy is trying to compound the product. Stability considerations, when you're making a 3-in-1, so this is when we're adding the amino acid, the dextrose, and the fat into one solution. This then becomes another emulsion. The fat emulsion itself is an emulsion, but now we're adding to it. Disruption of the emulsion means that it should not be given to the patient because the fat globules may have coalesced, and that could cause issues with pulmonary embolus and other problems. So we want to keep this solution as an emulsion as efficiently as we can. The electrolytes, the trace elements, and other atoms can disrupt the repulsive forces and cause aggregation, and that's when you get the big fat globules. Items that can do that, divalent and trivalent ions, so we have to be careful how much calcium, mag, and phos we add. Iron is a trivalent ion. We do not add it to TPN at all. In fact, it's not even in multivitamin injection. If the person's iron deficient, they have to get it separate. And then we have to limit the amount of calcium and phosphorus. And there's actually tables for that, and the company also does studies on that. Concentration of dextrose and amino acids. Amino acids will exert a buffering component. So how we add it, when we compound, is we go dextrose, amino acids, and we do the fat last. Dosing considerations. To avoid essential fatty acid deficiency, you have to include enough linoleic and linolenic acid. So you have to consider the fact that with soybean, since it has a higher concentration of essential fatty acids, you need less as far as the mLs required for 1,000 kilocalories to prevent essential fatty acid deficiency. With both the soybean and the olive oil and the fore oil, you need basically 3 times as much volume in order to make sure that you don't get to the point of having a fatty acid deficiency. Your operational plan. So now you want to go ahead and get this added. You've picked one of the products. Develop an educational plan so the people involved will know what you're doing and why you're doing it. TPN compounder, you had to add a new product to this. You have to add the stability limitations. So again, just make sure that you are going to be able to do this. It's going to be efficient. It's not going to interrupt daily processing of your TPNs. If products are not added to the compounder, how are you going to manage that? So if you have neonatal and pediatrics, we tend not to do 3-in-1s with them. then how is this product going to be given to the nurses for administrations to the babies? Develop new order sets. So at our institution, we have different TPNs that you choose based on the fat emulsion. So you may have to have 2 selections. Add the new fat emulsion as a single entity. Remember to do that because you may not be able to always have a 3-in-1. You may have to infuse it separately. And you also have your smart pumps so that these TPNs are always administered, should always be administered via smart pump so that something doesn't happen to the infusion. So it will have to be added to the smart pump library. So there's several steps to go before you can automatically just say, I'm adding this to our TPN formulary. So in conclusion, product availability of mixed oil IV lipids has taken time in the United States. It's been a long time coming. In Europe, they've been around for a while. Long-term clinical trials are still needed, and be prepared with supportive data and the cost analysis, because one thing that needs to be included in cost analysis is you're not having as much issues with liver dysfunction. You're not going to have to do liver function tests every day, and that in itself could be a cost savings. So those are the types of things to include. So I hope that you gained some information on how to maybe get these products added to your formulary. Have a nice day.